Hi, this is John Rosenhead, the Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post for Parshas Vayakhel-Pekudei, we're given an extensive insight throughout both of the parshas of the whole process that was undertaken by the Bnei Yisrael in the construction of the Mishkan and preparing the Mishkan with all the different kelim and the donations. And what comes out is we see this amazing effort of social interaction, a real social communal effort in raising the necessary funds and being able to implement a plan and to put it into action of creating and building the Mishkan. And what we read within this process is a very interesting pasuk which describes how this charitable process, this funding, you could say this crowdfunding of getting the Bnei Yisrael to donate towards the Mishkan, reached as we're told famously, reached a level which is unheard of, that they actually, they were told to stop donating. There was too much already. But within the pasuk, there's somewhat of a contradiction. That on the one hand, we're told that the pasuk says that there was too much, but there was also enough. So the question is, which one is it? Was there too much, or was there just enough of what was required? And therefore, the Mefarshim tried to understand, what is the pasuk trying to express by this double expression, this contradictory expression, that there was too much, but there was also enough? And the Or HaChaim says that what it means is that although the Bnei Yisrael did give more than what was required and was surplus to requirements, that in a miraculous way, the Or HaChaim says is that the extra, actually everything in the end was in a way consolidated and used to the exact amount of what was used. There was nothing left over. Nothing was actually surplus to requirements. Nothing was obsolete. There was nothing that was deemed unnecessary. Actually, every donation in a way went through a process of being put into the creation of the Mishkan, the tools, and all the different parts of the Mishkan. Everything was still used. So in a way, it's like a process of tzimtzum, of consolidating everything that was given, even though there was more than enough, even though there was extra. All that extra was also put in, and in a way, everything was still utilized to the exact amount of what was required for the Mishkan. So we can take out from here, from the Or HaChaim, is an important message. Just understanding what was going on here with this level of successful social capital. If we look at it from whether it's a sociological perspective or from a communal psychological intervention, we see here the way social capital works to its full efficiency. That when everyone is giving everybody is involved, everyone is contributing. Then you've got the wise, you could say the wise artisans, the people who have the wisdom and the intelligence and the skills to create and put a plan into action. You have all the people that are donating the different objects and whatever they can, and it's all being put together in order to create this reality of social interaction, of utilizing the resources that are within the community of Am Yisrael to create the Mishkan. We see social capital at its best. And what we see from what the Or HaChaim is saying is that when you have all these resources, when everybody is contributing in the right way, then you understand this somewhat sort of contradictory reality that there's always going to be more than enough. When everyone is contributing, then there's always going to be extra, a overflowing of resources. But that is enough. That everything is, if everybody is working together, if there is a united effort, if everybody feels that they have a role and is taking responsibility as well within a communal structure, then there's definitely going to be more than enough. You don't need to overly rely on certain resources or certain people. You don't need to maybe compromise in certain areas. There's always going to be more than enough, but that is utilizing to the fullest potential a community and a social interaction of resources and connection between different people within a community, within a social network. So it's a fortunate, and it's not very common, but it's a fortunate position to be in, that you can have more than you need because everyone is contributing, but that is what is expected. That is the ideal reality, and all that goes into a functioning and successful, optimal reality of a social network, and in this case, all the resources being maximized to the full, because the Mishkan was in a sense a perfect creation, a perfect interaction of social connection, of Am Yisrael working together. And I think this is a very important message that we can also apply to the situation that we're in at the moment with the continuation of the war in Iran, where social resources and the social interactions are really being put under a lot of pressure. All the infrastructure that we had until now, whether it's the school system has stopped, whether it's work, a lot of workplaces stopped, or some of them have gone back, whether there's an expectation at least within essential fields of work, medical fields, to go back to work. Some areas, some people, parents have to go back to work, and it's creating this load, which is in a way a conundrum of how can we balance the need to also go to work or to continue with life as normal, but children are at home or children have school on Zoom. We see a reworking, a reorganization of a social interaction where families need to come together because they're at home more, where communities need to try to come up with creative ways to still try to support each other. And although the war is putting communities and families and individuals under a lot of emotional stress and pressure, if we try to understand how the message of the Mishkan is that we can still try to reorganize in a way that the social connections and the social resources are being used, and people feel that they can still be connected to one another and you can lean on one another, then the social network of whether it's the family that you're living in, whether it's the community that you belong to, will function still to a healthy, efficient level, which will ensure that there's more than enough, and there's enough and more than enough for each and everybody to be able to survive and get through this difficult situation. We want to make sure that social network, the social capital that exists within Am Yisrael, within every Jewish community, and especially now within Eretz Yisrael, is functioning and is strong and is united, and we'll get through this difficult situation. Have a good Shabbos and keep well.